My hair texture is all over the place.
Everything stacking itself, right?
We are strong, black women.
Hey!
Hey.
Always, every time we enter, we're like,
Right.
it worked.
How are you ladies doing today?
Woo! We
Okay,
out
we're
here.
good.
We
Good.
here.
I like it. I like it. So, welcome to absolutely everyone who's watching now for episode 3 of BAPS Comedy Live. Yeah. We are streaming live on Facebook. We're streaming live on YouTube. Please comment. We'll talk about so much good stuff today. Put the comments in. Tell us if you're enjoying it. Tell us something funny. We love it. Ladies, y'all ready to get started?
Hell yeah.
Jillian, teach us how to make a drink.
Hi. Okay, so today we are making a drink that I completely made up. So if you don't like it, whatever. It is called dark lemonade. And it is actually going to be a fancy cocktail that will require like a martini glass or a smaller glass. So this wouldn't be your typical mixed drink. This is going to be fancy because we fancy bitches. Okay. So if you read the instructions, you know that we told you to bring hella cups, right? So essentially you want just like a big cup or a shaker. If you have bar tools, a bar shaker will be perfect. Adrian Brandenburg might have an example of a shaker for us. But maybe you're not a fancy bitch. Today I'm not a fancy bitch. I'm using just a water bottle. Essentially you just want a bottle with the tap on it because we don't shake some things. The first thing you want in your cup is ice. So you just want to have a base so that your drink is cold. Unless you like warm drinks, then by all means don't use ice. So the first thing we're going to put in is our liquor. So this is a dark liquor drink. So whatever cognac, whiskey, bourbon, brandy you have. I have brandy because that's what we had in the house. And I had a rough week, y'all. My power was out for 2 days. I woke up with my period. So brandy is what we're doing. Because,
Well, let's go.
because Moesha.
I mean, do you?
So what I would say for how much liquor you want, I would say about a shot worth. The shot glass is going to be your friend today. Another fancy bar tool, which everyone should have a shot glass. If you don't have a shot glass, you know how much is in a shot. Okay? So you're going to fill the shot glass with your dark liquor.
Is that a tank?
It's like a little mini mason jar.
That's
Oh, that's a cute little cup. No, that's perfect.
Okay.
If it ends up being too big, I mean, this is more cocktail, girl. Or too
I
little.
got things to do in the morning, you know?
So you're gonna pour it over ice, and then the next ingredient we want are our lemons. So if you have raw lemons, I would just say to cut it in half, and we're gonna squeeze about a half a lemon into the cup. If you have regular lemon juice or citrus juice, you're gonna want to just use a shot glass full of that. So now I'm gonna squirt the lemons. Okay. And don't worry about getting the seeds in this because essentially you want to strain this out anyway, so the seeds shouldn't get in. Oh my gosh, Queen, you're gorgeous.
Yay!
Okay, so we squeezing. This is the lemon part of the lemonade.
You think a whole shot glass is half a lemon?
Yeah, okay, estimate it.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Next comes the sweetener. So with lemonade, right? Lemonade is essentially sugar, lemon, and water. So you're gonna want to sweeten your drink. So I had said you can use any type of sweetener. I'm using maple syrup because I actually love maple syrup in drinks. But you can use like agave or honey or molasses or any type of sweetener like that. You can use what's it called? With the water and sugar. My brain isn't working right now.
The water sugar water. Yep.
No, it's called something in drinks. Do I bartend or do I bartend? Jesus Christ.
How much honey are we putting in?
A shot glass full. Half a shot glass. I lied.
Yep.
I I looked at that, I was like, that's too much. Simple syrup. Thank you. Nevada. Simple syrup. Girl, my brain. Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you, Amber. Amber runs Hot Mess Yoga. If you are looking to work out, it is a phenomenal site, and she's a phenomenal instructor. So check that out, girls, or guys, or non-binary. Okay, now this is the ingredients of the cocktail. However, I did not put this on the sheet, but if you have any type of liqueur in your house, you're welcome to throw a bit in. Like if you have triple sec or like amaretto, Chambord, anything fancy, like just a little splash. I'm suggesting it. It'll make the drink more strong. And then comes my favorite part, where we're just gonna shake this cocktail up, y'all. Yeah. So we just gonna shake. Bounce them titties. I really
We got you.
I have a half shot glass of syrup because I don't think that's too much.
Can you hear me?
Now we got you.
Okay.
Oh, I'm like, I can hear y'all.
Shaking.
I didn't wear a bra today, so I'm gonna shake on the low. Shake on the low.
Us little titty ladies, we can shake all we want.
I'm gonna shake on the low.
Okay.
That low shake.
All right. Just shake up. Just a couple, like, a minute or so. And then, so if you have a fancy shaker like Adrian, you could just take the little top off and just pour it in because it has a strainer. If you're like me and Adrian Brown, we gonna have to finagle it where we put the top, against the lip, and you just strain the drink out so the ice cube. And
holding my little fancy stuff.
Oh, even better.
I can't open this. This little.
Oh gosh, guys. I forgot an ingredient, but it's fine. We forgot to put water in it. God, it's gonna be hella strong.
It's gonna be crazy strong.
Oh, we gonna be drunk as hell.
I told y'all I had something to do with money.
Wait, y'all, I'm sorry. So let me preface this by saying I kept making them early to make sure I had the ingredients right. So I drank a little before. But cocktail yet, you're gonna want to put a shot glass of water in it, or like club soda or ginger ale, whatever, and then shake it up. If not, it still be a good drink. It just is a little bit. Ours is just like a little bit stronger. That's really it.
So we should just So we should just add some water in right now. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, we should just do a little float. You could add a float of soda, of ginger ale, and of water, and you'll be good.
For some reason, I thought you said you can add a little Gatorade. For some reason, I don't know.
Y'all, I cannot believe I forgot an ingredient. I'm sorry, y'all.
How you forgot the ingredient that makes it not so damn strong?
Of course I did.
It looks really pretty. Can we drink it now?
Yes, we can. Barack Obama. Can. Okay. It's good.
It's good. I'm hot.
This is a drink we're gonna sip, okay? This is a sipper, okay? Y'all feel it.
Oh Lord!
Oh my God, I'm gonna go get a napkin.
What the fuck she got us making, Brandy Bird?
First of all, all you have is a shot worth of liquor.
The jar was way more than a shot.
You were just drinking a shot. All we put in is a shot of liquor, and that's it. That's it.
Like the lemon is super strong, so maybe I put in too much lemon juice. But that's okay. I'm gonna drink it all.
You put enough honey?
Say who?
You put enough honey?
Yeah, I put some honey in there. Sounds good.
I am perspiring. I am perspiring.
Cocktail up. You're welcome.
All right. Good.
I'm glad she was bouncing her titties, as she should.
Asia bounced the titties.
Good for her.
It got hot. Should have taken my jacket off.
Oh, this tastes so good. This second version is better. I mean, honestly, this kind of tastes good without the splash of water, but.
Brady Break, how you doing?
I'm trying to I'm trying to cool down. I am perspiring.
I'm sorry.
Off this one sip.
No, Jillian, it's good. It's just strong.
Y'all the one talking about something y'all wanted old fashioned. Well, old fashioned this lemonade. Oh my gosh. We're here though. We're here. We're drinking. We're here and we're here.
Yes. I see what you did.
Segue. Did you see that segue?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, segue. Ooh, you guys want to talk about it? Let's talk about, first of all, Black is King.
Ooh, okay. We're gonna have our breakdown.
We have to have our breakdown.
Yeah.
First,
breakdown.
so let's start with like first impressions, and then we'll go into like deep dive about the whole Black is King.
I will say this. It was exactly what I expected it to be. So I have no complaints. I was someone who listened to the Gift album last year when she released it. Mm-hmm. I was someone who paid money and watched The Lion King. Mm-hmm. So for me, I knew it was a visual album in regards to Lion King, and I knew that it was a visual album for her songs. So like literally I was like, great. She put a visual to songs. I love it. There were songs I didn't like that now I love because of visuals. And there were songs that like visuals matched the energy that I already liked. So I don't have any complaints. I didn't necessarily like get blown away by like Lemonade or like Coachella because those I feel like were both kind of surprises. Yeah. It wasn't a surprise, but you know, all in all, I'm content. No complaints here.
AB?
So I prepared. First of all, I want to thank our audience. And I want to thank you guys for that very first episode when I got Disney passwords, because that's the only way that I saw Black is King. So thank you.
Thank you. Y'all the real MVPs.
The real ones. I did it on a Sunday, like that Sunday after it came out. I didn't have to work. I laid out. I had the whole couch to myself. I had it set up. I just felt good having a drink next to me. Immediately afterwards, I bought a new African head wrap. So I feel like I was very much impressed.
Oh, wow.
Feeling things. I never listened to the album. I didn't see the album. So to me, you could tell it was obvious, like we knew that she had done the Lion King soundtrack. And so I could tell that's what the storyline was. But it was beautiful. I remember we talked about it last show where I knew the part that I was most looking forward to was the visual, the outfits and the artistry and the body paint and the makeup. And when I tell you, not only did it not disappoint, it blew my mind. And the fact that she did all of that research, you know what I mean? And it was just so accurate in her portrayals. It was just awesome. I loved it. I can't wait to go watch it again. Yes, I'm excited. It was amazing.
Same. I too, like Jillian, I listened to the album prior to, so I was already a fan. And the fact that we get to have visuals was just a bonus for me. So it wasn't, I was floored at visually how beautiful everything came together. And the fact that, and I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, the interview for Good Morning America, she said that she started filming in their backyard. So I don't know if that scene where they were doing the synchronized swimming, if that was her backyard.
That yard was really extravagant.
I was like
the scene with like the mom like sitting on the yacht. I don't know. You could be right. Though.
I'm not sure. Please correct if y'all know. Y'all Twitter and YouTube. Yeah. Y'all can do the research yourself.
I saw a picture that said they thought that was a reimagining of Madam C.J. Walker's house because there's a famous picture when she held
Mm-hmm.
She had like a convention at her house.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard that was like a reimagining of that, but I also don't know if that was their house. So
yeah. I mean, overall, I loved it. Looked beautifully. Surprisingly, Jay-Z looked good in it. So I was just happy.
Let's just be throwing shade at these celebrities, okay? Adrian Brandyberg said that, not me, Jay-Z.
Okay, listen. Blue was getting her life. Okay.
Blue rapping to My Power was like My Power is a song that I didn't necessarily like before, but when I saw her rapping, I was like, well, you know what?
You know what? I will say
I stand.
These visuals have definitely made me love the album even more, because just like you, there are a couple songs that I was like, but now watching the visuals, I'm like, all right, let me give it another chance. Let me give it another go, because it's so beautifully done, and I love the fact that it wasn't, as much as I wanted cameos, there weren't a lot of celebrity cameos. You know what I mean? It was just Black people in their environment that she was just like, hey, yo, can we do something? Can we collab? But also like sign this NDA. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, side note, I wanted to correct myself. Last week I said Hannah Bleacher. I think I said she was the production assistant, which no, she did production design. Like she obviously was not a PA, but y'all know I was a little zooted last week. So I'm sorry. I love Hannah Bleacher, so I wanted to correct that because I was like, don't disrespect that Oscar winner, Jillian. We don't do that. That fella was my queen.
You know, I was looking forward to seeing Michelle Obama, like I said, but
we didn't get Solange either.
Right, we didn't get Solange either. So it's not like, again, she gave us a lot, and we're expecting way more. So I'm good.
There was only one disappointment for me, and it wasn't in Beyonce whatsoever or that visual album whatsoever. It was because I had not seen Lion King yet. My partner got it for me, but the audio didn't work, so I couldn't watch that. So after I watched Black is King, like Disney automatically said, oh, so you want to watch Lion King now? So I said, sure, why not? So I can see it. And I don't know if I would have enjoyed The Lion King if I hadn't already just seen Black is King, but it paled in comparison. I knew it was not going to be the original Lion King that I love, but I still thought it was going to be awesome. Then I said, you just sat here and watched Beyonce for a few hours and you feeling yourself, and now you're going to watch The Lion King. That's not how it's going to work, So
I didn't watch. I haven't watched the new Lion King, and I don't think I want to, because I was just such a fan of the actual animation. Like I remember watching Lion King 1, 2, 1.5. Timon and Pumbaa had a spinoff. Like I'm good.
Lion King 2, low-key has the fire songs. They have He Lives in You and One of Us. And those two songs, like Deception.
I would say Brandyberg, that was the part of, and I don't know if you feel like this too, Jillian, but that was what made me most upset about this remake of The Lion King, is that they shortened significantly Be Prepared.
Wow, I was Peter. How do you make Be Prepared a spoken word poem?
How? I was ready to walk outside at that moment.
I love Chuta, but if he can't sing, recast the part. The hyenas snap in that song.
Yep.
I'm upset.
Yep. That was what made me be like, why am I watching this now? Yeah.
Side note, I think that's my one criticism of Black is King. I liked some cases of the VO, but like when you're in the middle of this gorgeous thing and you hear Seth Rogen talking forever, I'm like, no, Seth Rogen, you don't get to be in this. I wish that they did more of like having the actual actors talk. Like I really like when I think it's for Jealousy, when it's clear that the young boy is going to what would be Scar's lair, right? Like I really like that whole production of like he's in this garage and then that the actor and the rapper is actually talking to him. I wish they did more of that, of making the singer like the characters.
Yeah.
Because I thought that was really cool, of having him being like, who are you? And
who am I? Who am I?
You know.
No, I
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I would say specifically Seth Rogen because like some of the overlap, like I don't know his name, but the actor who plays
I know who you're talking about.
Rafiki, he's actually the guy who plays T'Chaka in Black Panther. So he know he African. He belong. He belong. You know?
I you know what? It's still a great visual. You know, Black is King is always gonna be Black is King. It's gonna be King. I'm sorry.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful. So I will say, what was your best what would be your best like moment out of Black is King? Like what's your favorite song after watching Black is King?
It's still Brown Skin Girl for me. It was when I first heard it, and then after like in that song, I mean, I've talked to y'all about this, just being dark skinned, like and being a girl, a little girl and being dark skinned, having this little, we're gonna talk about it soon, this kinky hair, and then the way that the things that dudes will say to you, and I like walk around with certain friends. When I first heard the song, I was like, damn, that's what I just want to hear all the time. And I wish I'd always heard that song. And then when I saw the visual, it was still my favorite. I just loved it even more. You know, deep in the black skin.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think a song that I will say I have two. So a song that I think that I didn't necessarily like listen to too much, but visually I really liked was Find Your Way, which is like one of the first or second songs.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked like the sparkly, but I think my favorite visual is Already. Like I love the track. I love the visuals, the green, like all the guys in the purple suits. Like, you know, I feel like I'm obviously not Ghanaian, but like I just felt like you just felt Ghana in it's just so good. Like I mean the whole thing is good, but I think Already is my favorite.
Yeah, not to copy you. I agree with you with Already, but just to keep it nice and different, Mood Forever will always be like, cause I just love the grind, the grittiness, the fact that they had a white butler out here just following Beyonce. She's just giving you all of the dresses, the looks, and everything. I absolutely loved that song all day. And my power is just all day. I enjoyed the whole album was just dope. Visually, the Black is King is on point. So
can we cheers to Beyonce real quick and Black?
Yes, let's go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I will say before we move on, I did see a lot of people being like, you know, she's worshiping like, you know, like demonic things and you should be careful what you listen to. And to those people, I have to say,
do your
I'm not trying to go to hell now. Like, I'm not trying to go to heaven now, okay? Clearly. So if that means I'm going to be in hell dancing to Beyonce, then I'm going to be in hell dancing to Beyonce. It's going to be fun. We all going to be there.
we gonna be T'Challa and all that stuff, okay?
Like,
listen,
sorry,
that's real. I agree. but I feel like Black is King had so many great moments for hair. You know what I mean? Like she had hair looks for the gods.
Let me tell you something. If Brandy Berg don't know how to segue, Brandy Berg know how to segue.
For the gods. And you know, it just reminded us when our hair journey, looking at all the wonderful inspiration from Black is King, and we just thought like, damn, let's just share some of our personal stories and our hair journeys. So we have images and pictures to really capture these stories and these moments.
Oh yeah, Brandy Berg going first.
I can go first.
Okay, so we are about to follow and listen to the narration, the narrative of the hair journey that is the beautiful Miss Adrienne Brandy Berg. All right. Are you ready?
Eyes ready.
Let's go.
Okay, as a young as a young little Scooter, I would like to say, listen, my mother has naturally short, thin hair. And so my mom didn't know quite what to do with my hair. My hair is very coily, but it has a loose curl to it, but it tangles up a lot. So during my adolescent years, my mom just kept my hair in braids like so and beads for as long as I can remember. I just been a braids and beads gal. As you can see, Solange took my inspiration from her. That one bead is really that one braid right there in the middle.
Oh my God, I love this. Love it.
But look, my mom actually started perming my hair really early as a child because she couldn't deal with all of my curls. So as a result, my hair is limp, but it's still in braids. Look, limp ass hair, just out here crying, just screaming and crying. And you know what? I don't blame her because I had a whole lot of hair. But she still shouldn't have permed my hair. You know, you remember those kitty perms?
Yeah, like they were like the girls in the bottom.
The just for me's.
Just for me, yeah.
Look, this is me. This is me in 8th grade with a fresh perm and press, okay? With the curl out. Okay. Yeah. I just
And
it was
it's the flip that I love. Everybody flip.
hey, they doing that now. But listen, at some point when I graduated high school, I was like, when I graduated 8th grade, I told myself, when I get into high school, I'm gonna do my own hair. So that didn't really work out. So listen. So this is an older picture, and you'll see this is actually my color. In college, I had got my top of my head dyed a honey blonde. And so I got it, and the hairstylist, that is, I feel like everybody has a hair story with a bad stylist. She told me in order to dye my hair, I needed to perm my hair first. So it ended up obviously killing out all my little hair up here. So I had to cut my hair. So this is my first cut, big chop. Okay.
I love this, Brandy Briggs. I love this. This is very like Monica. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that. I love it. I love it.
And so at some point, I grew my hair back, and it was all good. I grew it nice and long and whatnot. And so I was in college, and my friend that was me. My hair was long as hell, grew it back, no color. I was like, oh, I'm in this. Let's get it. Okay. My friend gave me a glue-in, a quick weave, as you call it. That's my hair dyed in college, by the way, top half. She gave me a quick weave and spent a weekend with it. And you know what I realized? I like feeling my scalp. So I was like, hey, friend, can you take this out? And she was like, no, I'll do it on Monday. So I tried to take it out myself, got it glued, matted up, and then I ended up cutting my hair again. So moral of the story is I don't need to be doing no weaves. I don't need to be doing no glue-ins. Okay, I just stick to the natural. And this is my last cut I did a few years ago. So yeah, that's my hair story.
Love it. Love it.
Now you're natural and growing it out fabulously.
Woo! I got a blowout right now. I have a blowout right now because I recently trimmed my hair. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. But that's my little hair story, my hair journey.
I love it, Brandy Brick. I feel like you were very much like, I love the cut. I absolutely love it. It is very much like a before you walk out of my life.
Hey.
You know, I can't sing, but you know, that's that Monica. Mm-hmm. I loved it. Loved it. Yay on your black hair journey.
Yes, let's go. Who wants to go next?
Would you like to tell a black hair story?
Me?
Yes.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, let's have Jillian tell a black hair story. I love it.
So this is baby Jillian. I had long hair growing up. My mom kept my hair in braids or plaits or whatever you call them. I was definitely scrunchy, beads, little scrunchies at the end. We would go to the beauty supply store and pick out barrettes, all of that. We had it. And this is what my hair would look like if we blow dried it. I want you to pause here too, actually, because so my hair was always in braids. And then this was 5th grade. This was the 5th grade dance. And I begged my mom to wear my hair straight. So she blew it out with just the blow dryer and it looked like this, which is fine. And then I went to the Radisson where we had the dance and my hair was like whoosh, right? So then for graduation, which was like a week or so later, a few weeks later, I asked her to actually go to the hair salon and get it blown out again. I could not find a picture of this because I'm pretty sure I burned them all. But we went to the hair salon and they blew out my hair. It was the first time I had my hair blown out by Dominicans. Burnt my fucking scalp. But honey, I was fabulous. You couldn't tell 10-year-old Jillian anything. And my graduation was outside.
Oh,
honey. By the time I left that graduation, the hair looked even worse than this hair. It was like Diana Ross, and it was just traumatizing.
Can I have a question? Y'all was having dances in 5th grade?
Yeah, public school was crazy, baby.
Yeah. We had dances. I had dances.
Our parents had to be there. So both my mom and my dad were at the dance.
Oh, yeah. See, we had sock hops, and not a parent was there.
Oh,
so
I need to go back and go to public school because I missed out on some good shit. Is what I'm finding out.
Girl, you did.
Okay, that's all right. Let's keep going. I missed out.
So that was 5th grade. So then I actually did in 6th grade. My mom ended up getting me a texturizer, which I totally didn't need. My hair texture is what it is. This is high school, but we don't have any pictures of middle school because although I got a texturizer, my hair wasn't straight too much because in middle school I was taking swimming lessons. I begged my mom for swimming lessons because I wanted to learn how to swim. And because of that, I couldn't wear my hair straight because I was in the water every day. So I used to wear 2 pigtails every day, big bubbles in the top, little bubbles on the bottom, and I had braces and I had just gotten glasses. And let me tell you, schoolers at Genesee Distance Middle School were not kind, okay? And it was traumatizing. So by the time I got to high school, I was really happy. I was still texturizing my hair for whatever reason. So this is what my hair would look like straight. Because of the texturizer, I didn't really wear it curly. It didn't really curl its natural way. I also didn't know how to wear it curly. My hair is a lot curlier than my mom's. I have my dad's texture of hair. And when my mom was a girl, she had an afro. So, I don't feel like my mom specifically, I think she did great with my hair, but I don't think she knew how to deal with curly and coily because she had an afro. So the previous curls were what my hair looked like once I started trying to curl it, essentially. But I still had the texturizer. And then I grew the texturizer out. So here's my natural hair blown out with half texturizer, half not. It's very damaged. I don't know where I was going with this. I couldn't conditioning it well. But then as my hair started growing out, I would trim it. And now we're at my natural curls. Pretty much these are all natural curls, which is why they're much more puffier than the flat curls in that picture, because this is my natural hair. I was also using natural hair products because now, all of these natural hair products came out. Yeah. I mean, I remember when I used to try to do my curls in high school, I would put LA gel in them, just terrible things. So here we have curly hair Jillian. She's fabulous. She just moved to Chicago. She's feeling herself. She has a fro, right?
Jillian, I love this photo because when you first sent this one, I was like, this is definitely her audition tape or her headshot for a cast member for A Different World. You know what I mean? I just love this photo so much.
And the sweatshirt has the Olympic players that had their fist on it. It's a sweatshirt that my friend Nia Blackman did. She's a great IDD, interactive design person. She made it for our Black Student Union. These were sweatshirts we wore in college. And it was like we were trying to shake up, the country, but we shook up the world. So this was my first big chop. So somewhere in Chicago, and I was like, I'm cutting off all my hair. As y'all can see, I had long hair my whole life. And unfortunately, because of, colorism and the conversations around hair, like I felt like it was always a big part of my identity. And I felt like it was a big part of my beauty. And I kind of felt like, oh, I'm only pretty with long hair. So I cut it all off. And I had that short hair for a while, the shortest haircut. And then I got bolder and I was like, nah, we go in pixie, short, curls. Have lastly. And yeah, for the most part, I've kept my hair this short. I'll grow it out here and there. Right now, it's probably like 2 inches longer than that, which is how I have a protective style. Because of my texture, it's harder for me to have a protective style with short hair like this. But yeah, I mean, my natural hair journey was more of like, I can embrace my curls, but then also being like, I'm gorgeous, whether I'm bald head, whether I'm long haired, like, whatever length my hair is doesn't define my beauty. So that was kind of like my journey, and also realizing like, oh, my curls are gorgeous. I don't need to wear straight hair every day. Oh my God, I feel like I was talking for so long. I'm sorry.
No, that was a beautiful hair journey.
That was beautiful.
Beautiful hair journey.
I got these extensions, honey. You can't tell me that.
Hey.
I love it. That was a hair journey. Very good job.
Oh.
So we have like Nevada, we just really appreciate you watching as well. But racism taught us black hair is rough and tough, and it's actually so delicate that it has to be wrapped in silk and night and left untouched in order to grow. Yep.
Yeah.
Just like black women, leave us the fuck alone.
Woo.
I mean, there was a correlation. You know what I mean?
I felt it.
Yeah.
Okay, would you like to hear one more hair journey?
Yes.
Okay, wait for yours.
Okay, so I apologize beforehand. I was telling Brandyberg and Jillian that when we were planning to do this, I realized that I do not take photos by myself. So you will see a lot of other black people, and in one case, a lot of other white people in these photos, I think. I don't know if I included that photo, but I apologize. I need to learn to take selfies.
Oh, we judging those people.
Okay, judge them.
No, I'm just kidding.
You told them beforehand they were going to be honest, because if not, I'm ready.
This is the beginning. I'm obviously the girl with the random bow in her head. You can already see, I don't know if you can tell, but them naps is thick on the edges. Them naps is thick. And I always used to, like, looking back, I'd be like, why you put a bow on that? You know what I mean? Like, I truly didn't see the point. And like, I don't have a lot of kid photos, but this was perm. And this is so funny to me because it looks like it's cut into an intentional bang, but that's just because my hair don't grow. You know what I mean? Why are you laughing like this, Brandyberg?
No, I'm laughing at the photo.
Yo.
It's one thing for us to post embarrassing photos of ourselves, and here's this person. Like, you're just throwing everyone under the bus.
I do not have photos by myself. I just don't. I don't take them. So this is like so for my kinky for C D E F G H K I J K L M N O P Q R S T U Z, couple WYs in there. My girls with that type of hair know, like, when you get perms, like once you just take that thing and you go get perms, like that's it. It's like it's not gonna grow past a certain length. You're gonna have unintentional bangs, and that's what I had. And there you go. What you gonna do? And tuck it behind the ear to make it look like something. And I had that for so long, just because like once you start getting the perms, you keep getting the perms.
Yep.
And this was the big chop. This was the big chop. And I went back and forth so much. Like I big chopped all the way, big chop. And I was so silly. Like I was so silly because like I was wearing braids and I was like, okay, I'm gonna let my hair grow out as much as possible so that when I big chop it, it'll still be kind of long. my shit is kinky as hell. You know what I mean? Beautifully kinky now I know. But then I was just like, I'm gonna let it grow. And I can pull it this long in my braid. It'll be that long when I take my braids out and cut off the perm. And that's not the case. Shrinkage is real.
So real.
It is, you talk about science. Shrinkage is science. You don't believe in climate change, you better believe in shrinkage, okay? It is happening. So once I actually did this look right here, this big chop, I was actually angry with myself because I loved it so much, but I was so scared to do it. I had pre-made an appointment to go get some cornrows, right? Like 2 days later. And I was like, damn, wish I could cancel because I loved it. I loved it so much and I was just so proud. So we tried to let it grow. I don't even remember what these pictures are, but I had titties back then too. This is the problem. I just saw that part. Titties, hurry up, what are you doing? All right, so this is all the white people. So,
Leave the improv class.
This is a show. This is an improv show. Every Black improviser in the world has a picture like this, where you the only chocolate drop. Let me tell you something. When I met Brandy Berg in that class, I was like, I'm about to write everything from me and Brandy, everything. So I let it grow out as long as it would. And this was like a braid out, right? So this was like, I legit did the braid, did all the manipulation, then took it out, then put my pick in and made it work. Whenever my hair is so kinky that I felt like I had to manipulate it every night, right? So of course I did braids. Even growing up, I did every single braid style that you could think of. I had the cornrows, I had the beads, I had the Senegalese, I had everything. And this is when I started trying to watch all the YouTube videos, right? But I hadn't learned how to really pick it out yet. So you have those random curls in the front and then the random curls to the side because your hair just does what it wants. So there you go. And here I started to get my groove, started to get it back. I had big chopped twice, actually. So I big chopped twice. I think this was after the second one. Hey, no. Stop, okay. And so that was that one. And then, I'm sorry, I don't know if y'all remember this. When I moved to...
How dare you?
How we get into your hair journey? How we get included?
I told you I don't take photos. I don't take them.
No. You created this slideshow and did not tell us we was in here. Do you? I'm so mad. Anyways, this album.
So I decided to lock my hair, and legit, it was a surprise because my hair was loose. It was big, it had a little length to it. Not long because it's just my hair stands up to attention. You know what I mean? But then when I did comb twist. I did those. And so when I saw it, I was like, oh, this shit's short as hell. This is with growth. It was shorter than this when I first locked it. And I was like, here we are, let's do it. And my move to Southern California coincided with me saying, fuck it, I'm gonna lock my hair. Because even when I was a loose natural, I still felt like I had to manipulate it to be pretty, right? I feel like it either had to be in a tight bun thing, and I couldn't breathe during the day. My head hurt, I had migraines, and you feel like if you just let it loose, it's not cute enough because it's not a loose curl pattern or it's not, a certain type of curl texture. And so I would be at work with straight headaches. I refused to take my headband off and take the bun out. And so I said, now, it was so funny because Jamil would be around the house and see all these little bitty pieces of hair everywhere from me, doing my twist outs and stuff. And I'm like, I'm losing half the hair I'm growing. So I locked it. And I went from that, and we'll see what, I truly forget what picture is next. I did the last one. I'm sorry, y'all. I should have told y'all was going to be in there.
I mean, you can't even see my hair, so it's not.
But that was I think that was my year, and you see how much it had grown. That was my 1 year anniversary. And shout out to Mencken and Head Full of Hair 515. Thank you very much. And then The next one was this. And that was when it was finally long enough to do an updo. And that was at the Fly Honey show. And I finally had hair long enough to do an updo, which I thought was totally awesome.
Hell yeah.
Now I can.
Yes.
I'm curious about you choosing to lock your hair in terms of like, was that like a spiritual decision? Like, was there was there a lot more than you shared that went into it? Just because I know, like, you know, Black women locking their hair and Black men, I just feel like I mean, I love locks, but I know so many men and women who go through it. I know it's such a journey for them, like just personally.
So for me, when I first went natural, like a loose natural, when I first went natural, I had like this long conversation with my partner, and I said, I keep trying to wear weaves and perms and colors and all this stuff, and I can't be the best me if I'm trying to look like them. And that's how I phrased it to him. And I was like, so I'm just gonna cut off my hair and wear my own hair and see what happens. And I still, like, I love being natural. I was never gonna go back to being a person with a perm or anything like that, or any chemical treatment. But with locking, I was like, you're still trying to manipulate yourself to look like someone else. And locking was the true thing where I was like, if you lock it, you are truly committing to being okay with how you look and going through all the stages and being happy. Like, and I was fully a grown ass woman. You know what I mean? I truly felt like I believed in my natural beauty enough and my natural confidence enough to be like, commit to who you are. And locking for me was more so that than just being a loose natural, because I was still trying to manipulate. Yeah. I do remember when I did that commercial, it was like this online commercial, like McDonald's thing or whatever. And I remember when I did, it was my first time with like that type of client, right? And we had a rehearsal and we met the makeup and the hair lady, whatever, it's a white lady. And then it was late, like it was a full like 7 a.m. to, I didn't get home till after midnight type of thing, just of the rehearsals. It was like a live commercial. And I was so tired. And I was like, I'll just wear it, throw it out tomorrow. I'm not gonna sit here and twist my hair for an hour and a half, 2 hours. It's not gonna be dry. You know, that's just me setting myself up for failure, right? So I said, I'm throwing it out tomorrow. She'll do the makeup, I can wear my hair out. It'll be fine. And when I get there, she's like, okay, can you make it curl or something? Can you put some water and make it do something? And just all the comments that she made, it was like, no, this is my fucking head. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I look like. This is what they hired me when I look like this. Like, it was a bad experience backstage wise, you know, like I love the performance. It was a bad experience backstage, and the hair was a huge part of it. Where it's like, no, if I spray my head, it's gonna shrink even more, you know? Like my texture shrinks and this is what I look like. And I look like this when they hired me. I didn't have a full twist out when they hired me. That's what they saw, and that was okay, but it wasn't enough for her.
Yeah.
It was bad. I kept, you know, like you just get in that place of you have to look a certain way. And even if you wear your hair natural, only a certain type of natural is in right now.
Is acceptable.
Exactly. I think it's definitely very true. I think that, you know, I recognize that like my hair texture is like 3B, you know, and I think a lot of times when people talk about the natural hair journey, it's for people with hair like me, and it's like, but my hair is so close to like, you know, a white person's hair that it's really not about me. Like my natural hair is not the type of natural hair we're talking about, and I do agree. I feel like sometimes like those 3A, 3B textures are like, we're embracing natural hair. It's like, no, you're not. Like my hair is curly. Like my hair's not kinky and coily, and that's the natural hair we're talking about. Like that's what really needs to be front and center. And so
they're ready for, like, y'all's hair is freaking gorgeous and beautiful, and we just went through 3 completely different hair journeys, right? And everyone's is different, but they do embrace the type that they're more comfortable with. You know what I mean? That they can manipulate a little bit more. And so, like, to speak to your point, like when I said, no, I'm going to lock my hair, I had some folks who like warned me and said, just so you know, once you lock, like you may lose out on jobs. You know what I mean? Like, especially like when you're in those beginning stages, like I showed y'all. But I never wore a wig. I never covered it. I never braided my locks. It was, I said, nope, this is me. Here you go. And this is my head. And I'm 2 years locked last month. You know what I mean? So it's like, it is a spiritual journey because you learn about yourself and love yourself. And it's a community too. When you truly just be like, I'm so ridiculously fine and beautiful, just the way I'm naturally supposed to be. You know?
I definitely remember and recall, like, especially non-Black people saying that, like, oh, you have good hair. And that whole good hair concept always fucked me up because I'm like, good hair is manageable hair to me. That is a definition of good, quote unquote, good hair. And if I'm walking around with matted hair in my ponytail that I'm trying to act like looks cute, bitch, my hair is not good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like we need to get out of what good hair looks like. Good hair is everybody hair, okay? Naps, coils, curls, waves, all that shit. It's just what you define and what you want your crown to look like. That's good hair.
100%. And I think especially in our industry, it's hard to even like when, I mean, obviously we're stay at home, but like, you know, I love getting extensions and braids like that. And I love like dyeing my hair when I have longer hair, but it was also a feeling of like, well, that's not how I look at my headshot. Right. Yeah. So my agent, now that I have one or whatever, sends me an audition and it's like, do I send in a picture of blonde braids? Like, yeah. Like, but I also like, depending on when it is, it's like, well, I just paid however much $100 a week ago. If you think I'm taking this out, you got me mistaken. Like,
I was gonna say, did you, Jillian, when you first like made that big chop, were you like worried about like getting headshots immediately after you got your haircut? Yes. Because you have headshots of your hair being curly. So going into auditions, people expected that hair. You know what I mean?
Long. No, yeah. I got headshots immediately. But then the crazy thing about short hair, as I'm sure you know, is that you get headshots and then your hair keeps growing. You're like, okay, well, now I have these headshots where I have like this little, bob or whatever I had going. But now there's blonde in it. Now it's pink and purple. And now it's really long. So like even my headshots right now, if I took out and you saw my natural hair, they wouldn't be the same. And I'm just like, well, I'm whatever. Like I can't, I'm not doing my hair. I love my hair. Like,
I definitely remember going into an audition when I did my my last big chop, and she looked at my old headshot and she was like, that ain't you. I was like, what? What are you talking about? That's me, just inches removed, bitch. Look at my face. You know what I mean?
But it's also like what that tells you, Brandy Berg, is that they were trying to fill a quota. To me, that's what that sounds like, right? They needed to have a Black person, but they liked the Black person with the certain type of hair type. But it's the same hair texture, same hair type. It's just a shorter, you know what I mean? And who's spending, like Jillian said, hundreds of dollars for every time a Black person changes their hair? No.
Yeah. And I think it's just, I think it's just like relearning our relationship with it. I mean, I definitely know that I'm like in a position where like my hair grows longer, but I'm also like, I'm always down to try stuff. And so like, I definitely, when I was like filling out all of my casting information on like our sites and it was like, are you willing to change your hair? I was like, yep. Because that's the space I'm in right now, right? My hair's not too long. So I'm like, if you need me to shave my hair, sure. If you need me to dye my hair, sure, because it's so short. Whereas I think if I get to a space where I grow my hair out, I'm like, no, like it took me 4 or 5 years to get to this length. You go put a short wig on me. But.
Right. I will say doing the chops and just cutting my hair in general makes me like not afraid of change as well. You know what I mean? Like when you're so accustomed to a certain look and you want to just switch it up after, because you're feeling good. You can do that. And I'm not afraid to do that because I know how I look because I was able to do those different looks back then, so.
I think this is a beautiful time to talk about, maybe we talked about braids, right?
Yes.
Maybe other braided styles we saw in a couple of TV sitcoms that we might have liked. Used to like.
I mean, is it problematic to still like them? Listen.
Okay, so we'll cut straight to the chase. Moesha, we're gonna talk about that one first, right? Moesha is back on Netflix. I I think the first few episodes reminded us all, and maybe we didn't remember when we were younger, the fat shaming was real. It was
immediate, in your face.
Pilot. And like in general, Moesha, like so I'm up to like I've watched up to the second season, rewatched it. I guess like Q's around. We've been through a couple of things. He's been around for a while now. But I don't know, I'm older, you know, I'm a little bit older. But I like the whole premise of the comedy of the show is ragging on other people, right? That seems to be the whole premise of the comedy. The comedy comes from talking down or talking shit about someone else. That's the major problem. And I don't think we realized that when we were younger.
Yeah, it's like some black sitcoms were literally like, we're gonna roast. Like, this is a roast. Like,
you know, it always it throws me off. Like now that we're in the industry, like people, if you think about it, back then, people were having table reads, sitting down, reading these jokes, and thinking that it's acceptable, and they're laughing while they're reading, and then have to film it in front of an audience and relive those verbal torture. Like I was just, you know what? I've watched one episode, the pilot, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember this shit. Let me turn this on.
You want to know what's even worse when you think about it is that a lot of these shows were filmed for a live audience. So like they were making these jokes because that's what the audience was laughing at, you know, like they would film it, they would edit it, they would do whatever they did in the live audience. But like, you know, I think unfortunately it's just a sign of the times. Like, I think it's unfortunate, don't get me wrong. And I think like, you know, the way they wrote gay characters and fat characters and even like Hakeem was like poor and it was like a bit like, he's coming here to eat. Like, yeah, because he's in poverty. Like,
he has nothing else to do. Right.
Side story on like when she was calling out Hakeem on like does not have as much money. So I told her earlier, like I went to private school from like pre-K 3 to 12th grade. My first public school was college. I think people hear private school and think, oh, bougie. No. I like did many times as our utilities got cut off, and I would even be like, can we just not send me to private school and we could keep the lights and the phone on? And it was one day, like our phone had been off for a while, and I had a best friend, and we were in the hallway in high school, and she yelled, everyone's in between classes, everyone's in the hallway, and she yelled across the entire hallway, Adrian, is your phone cut back on yet? Damn. And I just walked. There's certain things in high school you do not forget. And when I saw that episode, I was like,
you got PTSD.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just calling someone out. So mean, but it was kind of accurate as how do people act.
And I think it's so hard, right? Because, you know, for all of these shows all kids shows across the board is written by adults.
Yeah.
And I think you can kind of see it in a lot of ways. So I think it's really hard for like adults to not only write for teenagers and kids, but also put themselves in their shoes, but then also be politically correct. I think shows nowadays are definitely doing it. I watch a lot of shows with like teenagers and stuff like that. And I like them. Some still are problematic, but you know, but I like, it's wild to me when I'm like, I love like Mara and some of the people who are like, yeah, I wrote Moesha, but I'm like, damn, like Mara's in her 30s. Like, writing for Moesha, like no wonder, yeah, like she was better suited for Girlfriends, which she created because that was her life, you know?
But it makes me think, so when you bring up that point, Jillian, that they were writing for high school, these were adults writing these high school shows, it makes me think of, okay, they must not have had any say, or how much say did they have? Because you think about the other shows, right, that were grown-ups, like Living Single, you think about where Family Matters, where you had maybe adults were more a part of the cast, like they were a bigger part of the cast, right? As opposed to being all about the high school kids. When we talk about The Parent Trap, where it was also a little bit more about the grown-ups, talk about
Parenthood.
Yes, Parenthood, not Parent, I meant Parenthood, not Parent Trap, Parenthood. Jillian, this drink is strong, and I've been drinking it the whole show. Just side note, just so you know.
We're always supposed to put a shot of liquor in it. This is the thing about strong drinks and light drinks. It's always the same amount of liquor. It's just how much you put with it.
My shot was bigger than the shot, so that's on me.
That's on me. It's also on me because I forgot to buy ginger ale. My bad. I'm sorry.
It's okay. But you think about like, so Living Single to me is like the perfect example of a show that we watched around the same time or maybe a little bit later, but it was grown up. It was grown ass women and they were deciding like, how much are we going to rag on each other? What is this show really going to be about? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they, you know, Moesha, I would hope like had some type of executive producer, maybe some type of control over what she was saying or what she felt comfortable saying, but we don't know because we weren't there at that time.
And I think, you know, when we talk about like our shows being problematic, like I think that we can be critical about them but still enjoy them. But I also think that like when we're critical of like artists especially, we also then have to be critical of ourselves because it's like we watch the show. We pick the show up. So it's like, you know, I think that like when people are like, this show is terrible, it's like, well, you was watching it. You were so happy it was on Netflix.
So I was happy it was on Netflix. I was excited. And then I was like, oh, okay. I don't remember this part.
I mean, I love Moesha for the fact that it helped catapult so many careers. So, you know, there were so many cameos in Moesha. There were so many cameos.
The entire cast of Family Matters cameo in Moesha.
You know, and
everyone who ended up being on a major show, like,
ended up transitioning. You know, people from Girlfriends, their first cameos were in Moesha.
Yeah.
You know, and moved on to Girlfriends. You know, so there were opportunities there. We have to take everything with a grain of salt. Like, yes, the shit was problematic. Yes, it was a little rough to watch, but at the same time, it helped garner a lot of work for a lot of people. Is it right?
Problematic then, like our consciousness wasn't at that level back then. You know what I mean? And I think that I think it's a good thing, right? That we say, oh, we've progressed in our writing, in our television writing, in our comedy writing. Then now we can look back and say, oh, okay, we can appreciate it for what it was then, but we know better now.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree. But at the same time, like there are so many nostalgic things about it that I love, like the language and like the dancing and just like remember being like, oh yeah, I really thought me and my friends were gonna go to the Den, and there was no the Den in Inglewood, New Jersey, except for Panera Bread. Okay? Even like Q, like me being like, look at this knucklehead, she gonna fall for him. I'm falling for him too. He's like, yo, shorty, and she's like, what? I'm sorry. What's up, Moesha? And I'm like, I developed talking to myself out loud. My subconscious was like, hey, Adrian, what should you do today? I don't know. Cause you know, like Moesha started so many things, so many trends, so many like hairstyles. And I appreciate the culture, but on the fact that it was hurting other people's feelings, you know what I mean? Like,
I learned that it's okay to date short men, and now I'm very, very happy. You know, because she dated Q.
She did date Q, which is like, I mean, I get it. Like, I was watching the episode she met him where he's like, just be at such and such concert, and he's just like, I'll pick you up at 7. I'm like, yeah, sounds about right. I will say this though, my biggest hope, truly biggest hope from Moesha being on Netflix is that the writers make a post and they tell us what happened to Miles and who was pregnant, because I want to know who was pregnant and I want to know, was Miles kidnapped by Little Kim and Ray J? Like, what's the deal? Like, what was it? Miles that was kidnapped by Bow Wow? Who was it?
I honestly don't remember.
Like Lil' Kim. I haven't gotten to season 6, but I do know that the plot was that someone was pregnant and they had all of them in college. Niecy, her, and whoever the friend was, and they all had like pregnancy symptoms.
Yeah.
Question: did it actually have a finale, or did it just cut off?
it cut off.
Like it wasn't a planned finale.
Right. Did it end, or was there an actual?
Like they just didn't renew it.
Yeah, so it was the season finale, but then they didn't renew it, so
they just didn't renew it.
It wasn't the series finale.
Yeah,
got you.
It ended up being the series finale, but it wasn't planned that way.
Yeah.
So the moral of this moral of the story is you can watch it out of nostalgia, but
recognize you can't be in the streets talking like that.
No. You can still get your ass beat.
You can still get your ass beat. I like that. And I think it's normal. I think the shows that we hold dear to us, right now, that there's so many shows that I'm so excited about that we can talk about on a different day. I fear that in 20 years, some little kid's going to be like, that show is problematic. I'm like, don't you talk about it.
Yeah, that's definitely going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be like, man, that shit was hot. No, it wasn't. So,
ladies,
there was no representation in the writer's room.
Oof.
There you go. Maybe that was the problematic part.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
It had to be.
If you have no queer people in your writing rooms, or the people who are queer don't feel like they can accurately tell your story, then you're going to get a storyline that's stereotypical. And I think the same can go for anything from, gender to sex to disease, to addiction to able and disabled. If they're not represented in the room, there's no one there to check it and say.
So any storyline can be problematic if there's no one in the room. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's important that we're in the room where it happens.
Did she watch the second act finally?
Of Hamilton, I think so.
Yeah, no, I watched it.
I know that's how we talked about the first act. Well, no, we watched the second act.
I watched the second act, but again, I'm not that versed into cueing in references like that. Come on, guys.
I mean, it's one of the best Leslie Odom numbers, but I'll let that out.
Okay, excuse me. The fact that I just realized your man Leslie Odom is from Hamilton, I didn't see him everywhere. And I'm like, who is this brother? And then I watch Hamilton, I'm like,
oh, yeah.
It makes so much sense.
It makes so much sense. Ladies, I've had a great time tonight.
Girl, I got a headache. I'm sweating. I had a good old time.
So we talked about our favorite, Black is King.
Woo.
We went through some beautiful Black hair journeys. And we learned to appreciate and respect the work that was done before to pave the way for us to be here now. Yet we know we have to grow with every step we take.
Okay. Growth.
Ladies, I think we can say goodnight to all the beautiful people and thank them so much for tuning in.
Yeah, and if you want to pay us, the information at the bottom of the screen or on our social media, the information's in the bio.
I mean, there you go.
What more can we say? Thank you.